Hello and welcome to the next video on this channel. My name is Peps and I welcome you to day number 4 of the Best of Super Junior series here on this channel. I don't have much time today and we have a stacked Hurricane Hall show today that we want to talk about. 10 matches, 5 of the A block, 5 of the B block. A lot of good matches. Let's jump straight into it because it's way too late. I had university until late, until like 8 p.m. Need to record now, need to edit it, need to upload it. So with that, we jump on into the first match. We have the Best of Super Junior B block match. Kushida versus Jacob Austin Young. Sanjay attacks Kushida during the entrance, throws him into the chairs. They throw him back into the ring. Kushida then takes out both Sanjay and Jacob Austin Young with a handspring elbow and a dive to the outside. Kushida goes at Jacob, then in the ring. Sanjay distracts him again. Jay caught him with the baseball slide and the DDT on the outside. They go back into the ring. A DDT inside the ring. 1, 2, and 3. Jacob Austin Young beats Kushida clean in the middle of the ring and picks up not only his first win in the Best of Super Junior, but also maybe his biggest singles win in all of his complete run in New Japan Pro Wrestling. A big victory here for him. Cool for him. I like Jay. I think he's a talent that is a super solid hand, and it's cool to see that he gets a big victory like that. So here's that. With that, we move on to match number 2. Daiki Nagai versus Jun Kasai in the A block. And this is the match of Daiki Nagai that was really hyped about together with the match against Kosei Fujita on the last day Hurricane Hall, because it's Jun Kasai in Hurricane Hall. Like, that is pretty much God that he's facing here. Once again, he starts things off quick with a dropkick and top combination as Nagai throws his shirt into the crowd. The crowd goes really crazy for him. He continues to go at Jun Kasai, but Kasai's knees gave up, which doesn't stop Nagai from going all in on his knees. Kasai is struggling to stand up, which Nagai sees and continues to go after the leg. Front neck hold counted into another Boston Crab. Boy Nagai, a brainbuster follows. Kasai then slowly gets himself together, hits a lariat, shows, haha, my knee's all good, rolls up Nagai, 1, 2, 3. And he wins the match after 4 minutes. And to be completely honest, I thought this was not really how I expected this match to go. Like, a lot of limb selling with Kasai bumping his ass off on Nagai before he just ditches it to show, hey, look, I just outplayed Nagai and I faked it to win the match, which is like, okay, but I'm like, did you really like just fake it for the vibe? Like, I think a match where he just beat the living crap out of him would have been totally fine. Like, that in 4 minutes with a comeback would have been much better than whatever they're doing here. I think that was sadly not as good as it should have been. But you know what? I could take it. Then we go on. Match number 3. Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Robbie Eagles. Kanemaru attacks Eagles right out of the gate and goes for the leg. After some leg work, Eagles started his comeback where he sells his leg solidly during the offense and goes for the leg of Kanemaru as well. Figure 4 attempt, but the ref bump. Eagles brings the ref back into the ring instantly, goes for a springboard move, but gets caught into a low blow as Kanemaru once again distracts the referee. Roll up, 1, 2, 3. And after 6 minutes, Kanemaru beats Eagles here. And I thought this was pretty solid. Eagles did his leg selling okay-ish, but I thought that Kanemaru's performances was pretty damn good. He sold his leg really well. He targeted the leg of Robbie Eagles really well. And it shows once again that he's pretty much the king of limb work in New Japan Pro Wrestling, because there's like not really anyone better than him at this specific style in this company. What I thought was kind of interesting is here Eagles losing, because with that he has 3 losses, and his next match in the B block on day number 6 on Saturday is against Yo in the main event, and it's untypical that someone wins like 2 main events in a row when they have them. We will see that in the main event later. And we saw it with Desperado, so he's likely losing that as well. He's kicking things off with 1-4 record, which would be pretty much already for him out of the tournament pretty early on. But, well, it's not like that he is going to be playing a big role in this tournament. Next up, we had a short match between Nick Wayne and the undefeated Ryusuke Taguchi. From here on, the next victory from Ryusuke Taguchi is a record-breaking one, as he is right now tied with Liger for the most wins best of Super Junior history. With another win, he would break the record. We had a good opening stretch with Nick Wayne going for the hip attack and then the Shinsuke pose into the hip attack to shout at Taguchi here. Taguchi powers up and then gets hit with the Wayne's World and just loses after around 2 minutes. Nothing really much to say. This was a quick victory here for Nick Wayne to give him a win after his 2 losses as he suffered back-to-back. Solid enough stuff. Moving on to the next undefeated name, Daisuke Sasaki in the B block as he faces Taichi Ishimori. And Ishimori gets put into the crossface after the handshake 5 seconds in. Ishimori then escapes it, rolls to the outside. Sasaki takes away the turnbuckle, throws Ishimori into it, and when he is rolled in again. Both go to the commentary table, grab the commentator, grab one commentator each, which was kind of funny, with threatening to hit the commentator. That was funny. Then they go back into the ring, did some counters. I liked especially the Rana counter into the crossface by Sasaki, which Ishimori tried to transition then into the bone lock, but it gets caught again in the crossface. Both of them did a little too much where they just grabbed each other and the one escapes it instantly. And to counter a little bit the crossface bone lock attempts, which was a bit too much, and then Sasaki hits the pedigree. He did an insane the move that Matt Kurt also did. I don't know how it's called, where Ishimori just lands right on his head. That looked sick. This was definitely the spot of the night, and both are double down after that. They go both into the exposed turnbuckle at 10-minute mark as Sasaki takes off his shirt and they start to trade blows. Ref distraction, low blade tap by Sasaki, but Ishimori hit one of his own in the Gedo style, rolls up Sasaki with the Gedo clutch, 1, 2, 3. And with that, the next winning streak is over as Sasaki loses his first match. For the match itself, I said it on the night preview. I believe that I think there's way too many bits in the A block. In the B block compared to A block, and I think it would be better if they just all wrestle. But sadly, that is not the case. Moving on to match number 6, I believe that is. Titan at 3-0 against Valiente Jr. in the A block. After his ref stoppage against Taguchi, Valiente Jr. is actually wrestling here on the show, and he has a Power Rangers inspired gear, and it looked awesome. I'm super glad that he's cleared. I'm super glad that he's able to really wrestle here because I was seeing what happened. I'm happy. I'm just happy that he's able to wrestle because I looked at this, was yeah, I think that tournament is over. But it's not, and it's awesome. The match started off with counters and a moonsault to the outside by Titan in the ring that traded sick chops, with Titan dominating the match, a DDT by Titan, but Valiente flips out of it and the bad-looking knee strike followed up. Cazadora into standing splash by Valiente, followed up with the Valiente special, but a kick out by Titan. The second Valiente special was meant to follow. It was counted into a DDT and a brainbuster, double foot stomp, but Valiente kicks out again. Submission locked in and the run attempt, but Valiente puts him in and Boston Crab transitions into an ankle lock, but Titan barely once again escapes. A shell shock into the turnbuckle. Valiente goes to the top rope, counted, double foot stomp by Titan, sharpshooter, and then into the full submission as Valiente was forced to tap out. With that, Titan goes 4-0 and beats Valiente Jr. here in the female vs. female match. I thought this was pretty damn good. They likely originally planned more for Spotfest, but considering the injury they adjusted, and I thought they nailed what they were going for. Like, two awesome guys. Valiente, of course, is a little bit green. You were seeing that in some moments, but they did really well for what they were going for. Good match. I liked that one. So far, on the cut, the best one. And it stays it, because next up we have in the B block, El Desperado versus Hyo. Both go at each other with elbow chop and chops right off the gate, follow up with a counter sequence that Hyo won to do all of his kip ups to get a crowd popping. Desperado starts leg work after a little bit of Hyo controlling the match, hits his leg with a chair, even goes back into the ring and puts Hyo in multiple leg locks. Hyo barely escapes and dives to the outside with Topic on Hero. Back into the ring, it doesn't take long until Desperado has once again Hyo in hell and back in submissions. And Hyo selling off it is like, fine. He still does his moves without any issues and any tension, just sells during the breaks when he's not doing anything, which is kind of silly. He then hits the Samson driver to a great near fall, and whenever Hyo gets into some kind of flow, Desperado just cuts him off and going off the leg. Numero dos after around 12 minutes, and Hyo is forced to tap out. The match itself was fine, but I thought it was like a clear, like a very clear difference between the performances of both. Desperado was really mean and went for Hyo's leg with no remorse, but the leg selling of Hyo was like absolutely flawed. Like, there was a situation where he did just a backdrop driver without any issues or any selling and any kind of struggle. He just did a bridge and then sold it after he went there, which is like, you know what, fine. Like, it didn't feel for a second that Hyo's leg was the focus of the match and destroyed for like 10 minutes or so. Still, big win for Desperado here. He's now at 2-2. Has a show coming up next, which he also should win, hopefully, to cut off show a little bit more. But there's that. Then we go into the business end of the card. Match number 7 in A block, Master Wato versus Francesco Akira. This is the match I pointed out in the last couple of shows. With both having a pretty bad start, I was like, okay, this is the match to look out for, because one of them will go with 3 losses, and both of them are really favorites to advance to the next stage, and especially with Titan already being at 8 points, they both need to score here. And similar to the match against Kosei Fujita, Akira just goes at Wato right out of the entrance gate with a blindsided attack. They slowly built up the match, went at each other, and had good chemistry from the get-go. Akira goes for the arm of Wato for most of the match, with Wato trying to find an opening and come back with the crowd getting louder and louder throughout the match for him. And basically, out of nowhere, after 10 minutes, Wato caught Akira with a Tsutenkaku German suplex hold to win the match and get the 2 important points. And I thought this was a pretty damn good sprint. They just went in there, just never stopped, and just coldly killed it. Good stuff. Really big win here for Master Wato here, who needs it as he is heading into his first main event of the tour against Kosei Fujita, who, of course, the big story was Kosei Fujita slandering Master Wato throughout the entire build to the best of Super Junior. So the big question was, okay, how is Master Wato going to adjust to that? And we will see that in Osaka, in his hometown. That is a big one. I can't wait for that. From this big match between the two young guys, we have Roppongi 3K facing off in like the 1400 singles match since show turned on Yao. The never-ending rivalry continues here in Karakin Hall. Before the show even started, we had a little bit of an interaction between them as Yo has handcuffed Sho to the ringside before the show and is forcing him to watch how the video of explaining all of the rules of wrestling took place at the beginning of each New Japan Live event. It was like, that is something only Yo and Sho can do without it looking stupid. The match starts with Yo teasing that everything is evil as the crowd chants loudly along it, which popped me because he also tried to do it on referee Marty Asami, and like the crowd even got hot for that as well, which was funny. Show was totally overwhelmed, goes to the outside and eats berries to fake that he's bleeding so he can get the ring, the hammer on the ring side to hit Show with it to start his upward section. As Show breaks out the chairs, throws Matsumoto in the ring to distract the referee, and uses the chairs to go after Yo's injured shoulder that Yo hurt against Show in their junior title match at Sakura Genesis 2024 after like 40 seconds, where he was out after for a couple of months. The arm work phase went for around 5 minutes before Yo finally got some few moves in. They did some spots with the referee, including a runner of Marty Sam against Show, which popped the crowd huge. They went then back to the arm work for another couple of minutes with a Show comeback once again with the help of Marty Sam. He wanted to do a magic killer together, but ref bump, spear by Show, and all three are down in the ring. Low blow then by Yo, wrench hit on the ground, and they did the Eddie Guerrero spot. Marty Asami sees it and calls for the bell. And Yo wins after around 50 minutes via DQ. I thought this was kind of funny. The match itself worked for me because it just like shows work in this tournament. I wouldn't say has been like great, anything like that, but it's been better than I expected it because it doesn't lead totally into the ref bumps. Of course, he has his ref bump, he still cheats, but when you compare it to what certain other guys in House of Torture work in tournaments, Renarita, this is much better, to be completely honest. So I was fine with that. I think the finish itself worked. It was funny considering Show worked his other match in Karakin Hall, won his other match with like pretty much a similar tactic. But it's a semi-main event of the Karakin Hall. You don't need a 50-minute DQ finish there. But I am not even trying to hype things up. Let's talk quickly about what is the funny part about all of this. We are at day number 4, House of Torture. So Show and Kanemaru lost a combined 2 matches in the block stage so far. The first match was House of Torture's Show beating House of Torture's Kanemaru via DQ. The other loss was today also via DQ. So far, House of Torture has yet to lose a match via pinfall or submission in the center match. Yay! Let's move on to the main event of the show. We have the A block, and Kosei Fujita faces Robbie X, and the first Karakin main event for Robbie X always, like in his entire career, and it's a big one, as the crowd is, I would say, 55 to 45 behind Robbie X right out of the gate. And they start with some wrist control before Robbie quickly jumps the moonsault to the outside. It goes for the neck and back of Kosei Fujita. Meanwhile, Fujita goes for Robbie X's leg with the leg crusher to the outside from the apron. And Robbie sold it really well at the beginning and got destroyed from then on out. He hits a big Frankensteiner to hit a little bit of a comeback, gets Kosei Fujita into a 5-minute carry as he powers through his leg, selling kamikaze into the X Express, but it gets countered with the knees, rolled up by Robbie out of nowhere, and they started to trade kicks and elbows, which I thought was the match. What was the move of the match was the overhead kick by Robbie X, and it does always countered into the wheelbarrow suplex that looked insane. Robbie X still powers up, lariat, gets hit with a lariat, powers up again, German suplex by Fujita, 1, 2, kick out. And from then on, the crowd is just totally behind Robbie X, even more than already, because they just want to see him win. He gets put into a submission, but escapes, puts Fujita into a submission, but Fujita grabs the ropes. Robbie X climbs to the ropes, but his knees gave up. He takes the energy from the crowd, but it took a little bit too long as Fujita was already standing there. And after a great struggle, Fujita slaps and goes to the abandoned hop from the top rope. But a sunset flip powerbomb counter, head spring cutter by Robbie X follows, kick out again. He goes to the top rope, looks at the crowd completely cheers him on. X Express. 1, 2, 3. And Robbie X beats Kosei Fujita in the main event of a Currican Hall show in a pretty damn good match. Well deserved win here for Robbie X. He has worked super hard to get to the spot, and I said it in the other review, he's going to get a singles push in his company. It's like not going to be a shock. He's going to get it. It's super obvious. I would actively bet money on it, and in the next year he's going to get a single shot. I can't wait for it. I literally can't wait for it, because if he continues to perform like that, hey look, he's good as a mid-carder. He's actually filling his role. And it's awesome to see. Good for him. Absolutely good for him. I'm happy with that. With that, he, of course, moves on to the next match, which is Jun Kasai, and I have no idea. Like, do you have any idea how a Jun Kasai versus Robbie X match is going to look like? No? Not really? But that is the interesting part. I can't wait to see that. And with that, I sadly don't have the stats prepared. It's looking good so far for Titan. He's at 8 points at #1 spot. And with that, I would end this video right here, because I'm sorry I don't have much time today. With that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and comment down below. We'll see us on Friday, where we have the first one block night with the A block, with a big main event between Master Water Kosei Fujita. I'm hyped for that. With that, bye bye.